for another 6 months. And it built like a good foundation in that. And then also, I was able to get my dream Dallas apartment that wasn't even built 6 months before that. And it was this beautiful, like, high rise with like 360 views all around the freaking thing. It was gorgeous. It wasn't even built. It wasn't even ready to be moved into 6 months prior. I had no idea that it was even existing. So that was also something I was manifesting too. So that it worked. It was perfect. It was divine protection for me. Now, if you feel like you're in your career and you're like posting and doing this and doing that, and you're doing everything and you're showing up and nothing feels like it's working, one, we have to think about this. Think about a bamboo tree, okay? I always compare it to a bamboo tree. Bamboo trees, they grow for 6 to 7 years in the fucking ground. No one knows. You can't tell they're growing. Nobody knows. But they're planting their massive roots. No, but you wouldn't know. One day, boom, out of nowhere, 70 feet tall, like out of nowhere. That's what this work is. It's like you're doing the inner work. You're taking the physical action. You're doing the inner work. You're taking the physical action. You're doing the inner work. You're taking the physical action. One day, it just fucking it all adds up and then it overflows and then boom, your life's different. So it's one, remembering that things, I don't really believe in patience or waiting. I believe in taking those actions all the time. But when we're asking for big things, those big things take time. It's like if we want a 12-pack abs and we have no abs right now, we're not just going to go to the gym for a week and get 12-pack abs. Like, we got to eat different. We got to go to the gym, work out our abs. We got to eat different. We got to go to the gym, work out our abs. We got to keep doing it over and over again, 1, 2, 3, 4 years. Now we're going to have 12-pack abs after that. So it's constantly just doing the inner work and then taking the inspired physical action, the inner work, inspired physical action, inner work, inspired physical action. And then eventually the universe has no choice if your beliefs are behind it, if the actions are behind it. They're literally impossible to not get then what you're building. But if you are finding yourself getting triggered in this process, that's here to teach you something. Look at that. Are you feeling like you're not valuable? Are you feeling like people aren't seeing you, or feeling people aren't understanding you? That's a deeper wound that gets to be healed. When you heal those, then it domino effects into your career and business. When you feel valued, then other people will value you. When you feel like you're being taken seriously, then other people will. So if those things are coming up, it's not a sign to quit. It's actually a sign to heal those things in order to get what it is that you're desiring.
Yeah. That's one thing I think holds people back, is just how long it can take. But you probably haven't seen this. It's like a graphic. It's not like a meme or anything, but it's just this one guy who keeps like axing away at like a rock. And then the other person axing away at it. And then the one walks away and the one keeps going. And he just had to do it one more time and he would have struck gold. And I think of that every single time. I'm like, what if tomorrow is the day? Or what if, 2 days from now, my life's going to look completely different? And it's hard to think that way. And it's also hard to like let go of how you're going to get to this place, especially because we're like, there's no way, like somebody who wants to manifest like $10,000 next week. So they're like, no, I don't have a family member who's going to give me that money. I don't play the lottery. I have a job that paying me minimum wage. Like, so it's really, really, really hard, but it's worth it to try and say like, just let go of the how and not worry about the timeline, because it's all meant to happen. So do you recommend that somebody says, so I've heard two different types of like mindset or like affirmations. One is like, give me this or better. And
Mm-hmm.
the other one is like, come up with other things that you'd be just as excited about. So if somebody wanted $10,000 next week, they could say, I want $10,000 next week or better. Or like, does that make sense to you? Or like, yeah, I guess go ahead.
Here's what I would do. I would, however you want to live, break it down. What would living that way bring you? How would you feel? How would you be showing up every day? What would you be doing? How would you be treated by people? How would you be treating yourself? What would you be saying yes to? What would you be saying no to? And start doing that now. I don't like waiting. We don't have to wait. You can live that life right now by deciding, by creating this version of yourself who has this thing. Make it like a character, like in a movie, like you're writing this character, okay? As you're just channeling your higher self, it's the version of you who has this thing. What's she doing? How does she feel? How's she waking up? How many people are buying her stuff? How many people are listening to her thing? Whatever. What's her family life look like? What's her health look like? How does she feel about herself? How do other people treat her? Then, every single day, when it comes to making a decision or doing something, do it based on what that person would do. What would that version of you do? You're quantum leaping. You're bringing that version into your reality now. I don't like waiting, and anyone who tells you to wait, you're going to be always waiting then. You're always going to be waiting. I have no patience. I don't like to wait. You joking me? Everyone's like, should I just wait? I'm like, no. Don't wait. Do it now. So
Yeah.
because you can have it now. Because think about it. Like, that's the quantum field. And in the quantum field, all possibilities exist right now. You just have to jump into that possibility. Just like how all music exists right now, all songs, billions of different songs exist, but you can only listen to one at one time. You can listen multiple, but you'll go crazy. Like, you won't be able to fully listen to one, right? So just because you're listening to one song doesn't mean the rest don't exist, but that's the only one that exists for you in your reality right now. But if you want to listen to a different song, what do? You change the fucking song. If you want a different life, what are you going to do? You're going to change your fucking thoughts. You're going to change your actions, and it's going to get you a different life. So if we're waking up and we're going, one more day, I'm excited, then it's always going to be one more day. If we're waiting around, we're the ones who create a reality. What are we waiting for? And God can't just put it in our lap because they can't go against our free will. So if we feel like we're always waiting, then they're going to be like, well, fuck, they're waiting still. Can't give it to them. They're still waiting, and I can't go against that. So what happens is, like, should I wait? I'm like, no. Like, get this character, create a character, pretend like you're making a movie. The character who has everything you want, how she's showing up, what's she doing, what's she wearing, where she's shopping, all these things. Start doing it now. I used to do this with money, okay? And be like, oh, the version of me who has a lot of money shops at Whole Foods. Well, I literally had like $5 to my name, literally couldn't shop at Whole Foods or anywhere. But what would I do? I would go to Whole Foods, I'd get a protein bar. I would get a banana. I would get something. I would put myself in that energy. So every day I was making decisions and wearing the things I want to wear and doing the things I would do if I was that character. What you're doing is you're jumping, you're changing the song, you're changing the channel, you're just going into the other quantum realm possibility that already exists and is already available to you. So you don't have to wait. You can decide now, okay, this version of me who had those things, how would this character feel? Make a character and then be like, you know, in the movie Mean Girls, are like, oh, Regina George did this, so I did this. Like, what would that character do? And that's what you're going to do. Would that character say yes to going out with friends who make them feel like shit? No. So then I'm going to say no. I'm not going to go people please. I'm going to say no. And you're always one decision away every day from that reality. So you don't have to wait. You don't have to keep waiting around. You can literally make the choice every single day. And that's what I'm talking about with every single day. If you're making those little micro choices, that then creates, that builds up, it builds up, it builds up, and then that creates overflow into your reality actually like looking so different. But when people say get delusional, I'm like, get fucking delusional. But it's not delusion though. You're just jumping into what your higher self's capable of. You're just jumping in to another option in the quantum field. It's not even delusion. But to me, I'm so convinced of certain things. There's a project I'm working on right now that I can't wait to share later. I can't really share it right now, but 2 years ago, before this was ever a thing, like long before it was ever a thing, I was so delusional that like I was walking around acting like it already happened. Literally, I was like walking around acting like it already happened, and I knew it. Like, it wasn't like I'm gonna manifest. No. I knew it. Like, to me, it was like, no. Like, this happened. Like, I knew it so deep in my body, and now it's like actually literally physically manifested. And I don't wait for the things to physically manifest to feel that way. I feel that way first, and I get so committed to feeling that way that I dig a hole in the universe and there's no option but for it to get filled. Because that's like so my knowing and my belief that that's then what has to be given to me. So we don't need to wait.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. And it's really weird. I don't know. I'm considering this a synchronicity. I know there has to be like a reason behind it. Yeah, it's only a synchronicity if like there's a meaning behind it, I guess. It's not just whatever word I'm trying to think of. So you keep saying things that I'm like writing down or about to say, and I'm considering that a synchronicity that we're meant to be talking to each other. But I love that you said that about Whole Foods too, because that's like what keeps coming to my mind. I'm like, okay, I'd love to like be that person who shops at Lululemon or that whatever, but I can't do that right now. But I love that idea that it doesn't mean you have to go do a shopping spree there. Like I read a book before. Actually, you mentioned that there's a couple things. So the one book I read, she said she bought a car before she knew she could afford the monthly payment, and that seems so scary. So I just like the more like reasonable way to approach it that you said. And then also I consider like those little like minute like choices that you said you make as like a vote, and I like to think of it that way. I might have gotten that from a book too, but like everything you do in a day is like a vote to who you want to be or who you're like planning to be. So that's like really helpful to me. For anybody listening, if you start thinking like, okay, I'm gonna snooze the alarm in the morning, that's a vote, you know what I mean? And once you give it that much like weight, I feel like that helps you. But anyways, I could talk forever about it, but what are you most like passionate about? Because I know that you do a bunch of different things. Like we didn't really talk about how you're like you have that medium intuitive side of you. Like how do you help people if somebody was interested in working with you? Because I think we can learn all of this stuff and get all your free stuff, like I said, on TikTok and Instagram and whatever, but it does help to work with somebody. So do you like doing that more? Like, how do you work that into working with people?
Yeah, so I combine it all. So the medium reads where I channel loved ones who have crossed over people, I don't do too much anymore. I love it. However, I'm not as passionate about it as I am the intuitive side and helping people access like their greatest potential side. So I don't really do that much anymore unless it's like a necessary thing, really. But what I do is I use my intuition to look at where a soul's at, where they're at, and to look at to read its contract, where it wants to go, what's going to actually fulfill it, and then I channel what they need to do to get there. And then I channel, okay, is this I'll channel like these energy shifting tools and exercises and journal prompts and things that they can do to rewire their brain. And that's how I incorporate both. Really, I just love to help people access their greatest potential and whatever it is that they desire in life. And I use my intuition to see what in their energy is stopping them from that. What are their thoughts? What are their beliefs? And what can I give them that is going to be really great specifically for them to expedite their process and getting whatever it is that they want, because I like to get shit done quick. So there's no one size fits all
Yeah.
way of doing anything for anyone. So getting specific into what they specifically need is really, really cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. And that's something that I've never really heard anybody offer. So I love that you kind of made those one thing that people can come to you for. For like, so for before anybody can, maybe they can't afford you just yet, or they can't work with you just yet. Like, how would you say people should go every day? Like what are some beliefs that you would tell them, or affirmations, I guess, just to wrap up, because I know we touched on a million things. So like if somebody was going to do some affirmations tonight, what do you recommend that they say or do? Write down whatever.
Good. So affirmations for what outcome do they want? Like what's the outcome they would
Yeah,
like?
that's a good question. Can we just do happiness, or does it have to be like specific,
Oh,
like
no,
happiness?
I love
Okay.
it. So for me, I don't actually believe in affirmations. I don't think they work. So because here's the thing: if I'm going in the mirror and I'm going, and let's say I want to be a billionaire, I'm going, I'm a billionaire, I'm a billionaire, I'm a billionaire, I'm a billionaire. My brain's gonna go, no, you're not, no, you're not, no, you're not. I'm a billionaire, I'm a billionaire. My brain's going, no, you're not. Our conscious brain, the one that's saying I'm a billionaire, and our unconscious brain, the one that's saying no, you're not, speak two different languages. This one's speaking freaking Greek. This one's speaking Mandarin. They don't speak the same language. So we can't try to feed our brain these things to kind of like outweigh a negative quote thought that we're having. So what I like to do instead is I like to call it a brain reprogramming statement. So if we want to feel happier, we're going to go every day I'm seeing more and more how I'm happier than the day before. That we can get behind. Why? Because we can prove it to ourselves. We can go, okay, micro moments of what made me happy today. That butterfly made me happy today.